It's ruined.
The world of custom mechanical keyboards is an incredibly fun, challenging, and rewarding hobby. You have the freedom to make a custom keyboard that sounds as beautiful as it looks, exactly to your personal preference. But for people like myself who are relatively new to the hobby, the price tag just to get your foot in the door can be a little bit daunting. Do you have to drop multiple hundreds of dollars just to get a keyboard you enjoy using? We're going to test that today. We're going to take a look at two ways you can get started for less than $100. Buying a $25 keyboard and modding it to your liking, or spending a little bit extra for some features and then using it as is. Also, shout out to Betty over on the YouTube channel Switch and Click. Watching her video where she modded the Red Dragon K552 inspired us to pick one up ourselves and make this video. The link to her channel is in the description below. Check it out. And while you're down there, maybe hit our subscribe button. Thanks. Let's check these out. So let's take a look at our budget board here, the Red Dragon K552. You can grab this keyboard on Amazon for under $30. It's available in black or white and comes with Otomu red linear switches. I will note that the packaging looks kinda rough here, but that's only because we opened it already. It looked a lot better before. So it's a TKL layout, so you've still got the function rows sectioned off above the number keys, along with the arrow and navigation keys in their own section to the right. The board is made of metal alloy and ABS, so it feels like plastic. The cable is hard wired here. The keycaps are OEM profile. I believe they're made of ABS and they have this very gamery font. And we got that nice Red Dragon logo there. It's got 4 rubber feet and then 2 flip out feet for a higher typing angle. Included with the keyboard are these little switch keycap pullers. Trust me, you're not going to want to use these. Also a manual and a sticker. One really nice thing about this keyboard is that it does have a hot swap PCB, meaning we can remove and reattach switches without needing to solder. Now normally this is great if you aren't sure yet which switches you prefer using, you want the flexibility to upgrade in the future, or simply swap in new ones as you please. However, this particular hot swap PCB has an asterisk. The sockets are compatible only with Otomu brand switches, which are the brand of switches it comes with. So while there are different options of Otomu switches you can swap in if you like, it's pretty limiting, not as fun as it could be, especially considering how many options of switches there are out there. So no Gateron Black Inks here, not sure you'd want to do that anyway, but while that limitation is a bummer, the ability to remove these switches easily will allow us to lube them, which will be a huge factor in this mod. There are a few more downsides to this board to point out. Again, that cable isn't removable, so bad news if it breaks. Also, if you're into RGB, this model only has 1 color per row of keys. That can't be changed, so if you want any lighting, you're stuck with rainbow. Not a huge deal if you aren't planning to use it, but could be a downside for those who like options for different colored lighting. Also, why? Why would you put this screw right here? Minor, but come on. So first impressions of this board, honestly, it's kinda rough. Keycaps feel bad, I don't like the font and the logo personally. Typing sounds awful. You'll have a chance to hear what it sounds like at the end of the video. Moving on to the keyboard we'll be keeping stock, we have the Epomaker EP84. It'll run you about $85 before tax or shipping. It comes in gray black or gray white, which is the one that we got, and has the option to come with either Gateron red, black, blue, or brown switches, which is a nice variety to choose from. So this is a 75% layout, meaning you still get your function row at the top, along with the navigation and arrow keys on the right, but this is a more cramped layout as it doesn't have any blocking, and making it slightly smaller than the Red Dragon, which can be a pro or con depending on your preference. The USB-C cable is removable and able to run straight out the back or to either side depending on your desk layout. These keycaps are made of PBT and are an OEM profile. The PCB on this keyboard has 5-pin hot swap sockets, so if you want to upgrade, you can go nuts with whatever switches you want. The one we picked up has the Gateron Black switches, and as I said before, for this video I'm keeping it stock, but I am planning to mod this keyboard in the future, so if that's something you want to see, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. So first impressions, this board just feels a lot nicer. The keycaps aren't the most amazing quality PBT, but they do still feel nice and satisfying to type on. It even sounds pretty okay as is, but it could be majorly improved on with mods like lubing and adding case foam. The ability to use other switches on this PCB is pretty huge if you're someone who wants to tinker or upgrade down the line. So comparing these keyboards as is, we have a pretty clear winner. But it's not really fair to compare a $85 product to a sub $30 one. But since we have that extra budget left over out of our $100, maybe we can fine tune this board and make it not just better on its own, but even better than the Epomaker, because we can design it exactly how we want. So here's what we did and a tally of how much we spent. Since this is probably the first time you'll be doing this, we factored in the cost of tools necessary to do the mod. Here's what you'll need: a screwdriver, switch opener, lube, paintbrush, blunt tip syringe, spring lube, stem holder, keycap puller, switch puller, and a baggie for springs. Affiliate links for all these tools are in the description. So first we removed the keycaps, we popped all the switches out, and then got started taking the board apart. This was a little tricky to unplug, but once we were able to disconnect it, we got the PCB out, we could start working on the case. The first correction we're going to try and make here is the hollow sound that the keyboard has. So we picked up some of this foam stuff from the dollar store and cut it to fit in the bottom of the case. And then laid it out carefully to make sure that the screw mounting points were still poking through so that we would be able to screw everything back together. The other thing that had to go was that red dragon logo. So we tried using a magic eraser with a little bit of water and worked like a charm. We took all the switches apart and got started lubing. This is a really long process, but it's gonna be worth it, trust me. For keycaps, we decided to get these PBT matcha keycaps from Idabao. These keycaps honestly surprised me. They're really good quality for the price. They have a nice texture, the legends are decent, and they sound really good. So I definitely would recommend them. However, be warned, these took forever to ship. We thought we could upgrade the stabilizers after that, so we got some Duroc plate mount stabilizers and... Ew. Yeah, that's not right. To be honest, I'm not really sure why, but they seem to just not fit or work with this board. So if I was you, I wouldn't get these, at least not for this particular keyboard. We did get a couple to work, and the ones that did, I'm not really sure that they're actually that much of an improvement, and we had to still use some of the ones that came on the keyboard. So I would skip it. And there you have it. Our modded K552 is complete, all coming to a grand total of... Less if you didn't waste money on stabilizers that don't work. But how does it compare? While the Epomaker still wins in comparison when it comes to features and functionality by having that detachable USB-C cable, programmable LED lighting, and of course the sweet universal hot swap socket, I think there's still something to be said for this guy. Overall, aesthetically, I think it looks awesome, and wow, it sounds a lot better than it did before. But was it enough? Was it worth the time and money to upgrade? Or should you just stick with spending more for more functionality? Well, that's the beautiful thing about this hobby. It's all reference. So, I'm gonna let you be the judge. Take a listen to our sound test comparisons, and then let us know in the comments below which you would choose. Thanks for watching our video on budget mechanical keyboard options. Make sure you let us know in the comments below which keyboard you would go with. Check out our video where we modded the RK84, which is another great budget option, or our video reviewing the KBD 67 Lite R2. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more keyboard content.
Bye!